Hey, welcome to Wealth Wednesday. My name is Jerry Fetta. I'm the owner, founder, and CEO of the Wealth Dynamics brand. Every Wednesday, I give you a real life update on what I'm doing for my own wealth building to give you transparency and show you guys I'm walking the walk, right? Now, many years ago when I was a personal trainer, I remember watching there was this guy, he was super fit, he was a super personal trainer, and he said, I'm gonna go gain a bunch of body fat. All I'm gonna do is eat McDonald's to get giant and fat so I can show my clients that I can do the things I'm telling them to do. He lost all the weight, right? He documented the whole process. And so last year I had something similar happen where I lost some money in some investments. I had some things going on in my personal life where my net worth came down substantially. And so I'm actually rebuilding in my own blueprint phases. I'm showing you what to do as I do it. And so that's the purpose of these videos right now. If you watch to the very end of this, I have a special ebook that I'm going to give you access to for free. Okay. For free. How many dollars? No dollars, because it's for free. Okay, and I want to give that to you, but you need to watch to the very end. Until then, let's dive into my content. All right, guys, here we go, Wealth Wednesday. So it's been a great week. Like last week, I look at, every week I have to kind of sit back. These are good videos for me because I have to remember like what actually happened. If you know me closely, you know me that I live like a month in a week. So by the time the week's done, I don't remember. People will be like, remember that email you sent? And I'm like, no, I don't, because that was 4,000 emails ago and I don't remember the things that I said 4 days ago, right? But that's what goes on in my life. It's very busy. And so this has been a very productive week for me. So I've been mostly focused on business, right? But I have made some good improvements and progress on my personal finance. So I'm gonna share a couple wins with you guys, right? So I got rid of all of my unsecured consumer debt a few weeks ago. I told you guys about that, right? I finished my medical exam on my Sacred account, my new one, that's gonna be up and running soon. And so what I've been looking at is I've been looking at my budget, right? My personal budget. I'm doing something called the Big 3 Challenge. Okay, I'm on day 24 right now. Going strong still, even on a road trip, right? Even on my birthday, I did the Big 3 Challenge. I did an event, did like 7 hours of teaching, got done with the event, came home. Guess what I did? My Big 3 Challenge. Okay, so I've been doing the Big 3 Challenge, and so I've been looking at increasing my income. I've been learning and doing all the activities, but one of them is the daily expenses, right? You rate your daily expenses, and I'm not really much of a spender. Like for me, frivolous means I went to Starbucks. I got a $4 coffee and a donut, and I'm like, yeah, I'm rolling right now. Okay, so I don't do a lot of heavy spending, but I was looking at like where am I putting my money right now? So one of the things that I did, and this was at the advice of a partner of mine, is I set up what's called a segregated account. Okay, so we already know we have our Sacred account, but you should have an account where all your income goes. This is on the personal side. You should have an account where all your income goes. Everything gets deposited into that. Okay, you should have an account where you set aside your planned expenses. That's account number 2. You should have an account where you put your money that you're going to put into your Sacred account. Okay, and that's account number 3. Then you should have your Sacred account. That's account number 4. Then I highly recommend you have a cashback credit card, right? Not one where you get statement credits or airline miles. I want actual cash. Like I want my bank to send me money for using that credit card. So this week I set up that structure. I've got an account. I have the income going into it, right? I set up my segregated account. And so what I do is every time I get money, I take a portion of that and I put it aside into my segregated account. The only bill that ever drafts from my segregated account is my Sacred account. It's my premium deposits into my Sacred accounts, right? What does this do for me? It means that that money comes off the top. It makes budgeting much easier. You spend what's left. Okay, most people do this backwards, right? They save what's left. This is where you're going wrong. And I'm talking to you guys that are making $400,000 a year, $1 million a year. I see you doing this shit too. You spend, and then you save the leftovers. You pay yourself last, right? You need to pay yourself first. So as soon as you get paid, you should take your money and put it into your segregated account. All that is the sub-checking account. Go to your bank app or your bank branch, open up a sub-checking account, move the money into that, and then every time you get money, you set aside. And that way, your Sacred account gets paid out of that account. You never have to worry about, did you have the money for it? Then when you spend, you're not like, oh yeah, I spent and I used my premium deposits and I can't fund my Sacred account this month, right? I've talked to people where a guy I talked to maybe a week or 2 ago, he's like, yeah, I make $60,000 a month right now. I saved the majority of it, but I'm not on a forced savings plan. And I'm like mind blown. I'm like, what the hell? How are you not on a forced savings plan? And when I talked to him, he's like, oh yeah, I think I can do $2,000 a month. And I'm like, dude, you make $60,000 a month. $60,000 a month. Don't be a chicken. Well, what if I can't keep up? Well, that's the point. Save it so you can invest for passive income. So if your income goes away, you've got passive income, so then you can always keep up, right? So I set up that segregated account. And then one thing that's really cool is the cashback rewards. I did the cashback rewards credit card this week, and you flow all your expenses through that, by the way. You flow your mortgage payment, your rent. Okay, I'm gonna give you a hack on this because some of you guys are like, well, I can't pay those with a credit card. Yes, you can. Go to plastic.com. plastic.com. You can pay any bill you want to with a credit card using plastic, right? So you can use that, but I can pay rent, I can pay my everything I need to pay with a credit card. So I do that, I put it on a credit card. This week from my credit card, I transferred myself into my income account, $560 in cash rewards, okay? Now what did I do with that? Some of you guys are like, oh, you could go, spend that on dinners, or you could buy a TV, or I put that in my segregated account. That's extra money. Why in the world would I do a wealth hack to get free money and then spend that on nonsense? The point of the sacred account is to recapture this, not to go be more frivolous because you got extra cash. So if you're doing a cashback credit card method, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're spending that on statement credits. Or if you're using that on rewards or you're putting it on travel, pull it in cash, put it in the income account first, put it then into the segregated account, then dump that into your sacred account. This is called financial organization, right? You want to be neat, you want to be organized. So that was one thing that I did, right? Now, the other thing I've been doing in my company is I've been working on automating things. I talked last week about setting up an artificial intelligence program for appointment setting. We're getting that up and running, right? I just promoted, someone up to an executive in training so that we can get more of them helping in the business. And for me, that allows me to work on my business rather than in it. Okay, now what does that mean for you watching? I want you to try and do the same thing. If you're a business owner, I want you thinking about how do you put in good systems that help you generate more income with less time, right? I talked to someone today and he's like, I spend 5 to 6 hours a week on my business, right? Another friend of mine, he's like, I spend about 3 hours a month on my business. I'm looking at this and I'm like, I spend like 90 hours a week on my business, mostly because I like to. But what if I was trying to pull that time out and spend that elsewhere? Probably gonna work anyways, you guys know me, but what if I didn't have that? What if I wasn't having to do a sales call? What if I wasn't having to, jump in and write an email campaign? And so those are the things I'm working on automating. So if you're a business owner, I want you thinking with that. If you're an employee, what I want you to do is I want you to think about how can you move up in your company? What's your next promotion? You should always be asking yourself that question. What's my next promotion? How do I earn it? Not how do I get it for free? Not how do I convince my boss? How do I earn that shit? Right? And if you're not in a company that's going to reward you for it, go find one, right? Work your ass off, earn that promotion, get the pay, because that puts people below you so that they're doing more of the day-to-day. You're doing the oversight, and you should get paid based on the group's production, which gives you more time. And it gives you leverage, right? You've got people leverage, you've got financial leverage, right? And then the final thing that I did this week as my Wealth Wednesday update before I wrap up here is we did an event. So we did an event on Saturday. Right, this was the very first of its kind for us. It was a digital boot camp. It's called In the Arena. Right, we had over 89 people register. We had a great attendance rate. We had 6 world-class speakers. And this was one of those events where you actually get like real tactical, you can take home and do it kind of stuff. Right, and one of the questions that was posed at the event by one of the speakers, Mr. Ivan Ans, was, do you understand your life purpose? Right, and I'm going to share with you, for me, from a wealth building standpoint, why that was important to me and where that puts me on my personal progress. Ivan, you've got to realize, Ivan started his first business when he was 7 in Argentina. Right, he was reading Think and Grow Rich when he was 14 years old. Okay, at age 25, he was already making money. He was one of the most successful reps in the world for a company called Herbalife. Right, he was running a car dealership with his dad. He'd done several businesses, and so he was looking at, I didn't want to just make money for the purpose of money. And he was feeling kind of burnt out. And if you're watching this video right now and you're feeling that burnout, what that means is that your purpose and your vocation are not aligned. The thing you do to make money is not aligned with what your purpose is in your life. And so Ivan actually put together, it's called a matrix. It's an assessment, right? It's an assessment that allows you to take that assessment and understand your life purpose. And when you understand your life purpose, you then go through and you figure out, how do I align this with the thing that I do to make income? And it comes with a coaching call, and it comes with a potential for a mastermind group and one-on-ones and group meetings and all this cool stuff, but it starts with that assessment. And so during the event, he was talking about this. And, Ivan, when he was 25 years old, first did this drill with himself. The year after that, he opened up his family office, which made him the youngest family office founder in world history. Right? And his family office continues expanding, but I want to just show you that was the year after he found his purpose. The family office happened. Right? For me, my purpose is to help families, individuals, and entrepreneurs achieve greater financial freedom in life. And so I've known that purpose since I was 18, 19 years old, and I had to rekindle it at that event. And so for me, I remembered, I was like, that's my purpose. I don't need to go figure out my purpose. I've known my purpose since I graduated high school, got my life insurance license. I knew what my purpose was. I've known all along, right? And so when I rekindled that, that was something for me at that event where I was like, man, this was worth it for me. And I didn't spend money on a ticket. Instead, I spent thousands of dollars to make sure you guys knew about the event, attended the event, the speakers came to the event, and it was a good event. But that, for me, just that one personal takeaway made the entire thing worth it. And then also knowing all my clients got helped. They got information that changed their lives. We had a guy dive into how do you use artificial intelligence to become a superhuman with learning. I started using that strategy yesterday where I went on my phone, pulled up ChatGPT, and I went into learning mode, right? So there's so many things with that. So what I want to do is I want to offer you, if you watch the video here, I told you I was going to give you an ebook. I changed my mind. Get used to it. Life is about change. I told you guys I was going to give you a free ebook. Instead, if you comment below and you do hashtag in the arena, okay, hashtag in the arena, I'm going to give you the replay for the arena bootcamp for $25. Okay, the entire thing, it's a 6-hour event, phenomenal content. And this is not as special everyone else is going to get, right? But if you do hashtag in the arena on this video in the comments, we will send you that. You can do $25, get the entire replay, right? And I'll even see if I can hook you up. Once you get the replay, I'll reach out to you, my team will. We're going to see if we can get you the ability to get that life purpose assessment at a very discounted cost. Usually that's a $10,000 assessment. Like, no joke, it's a high net worth program. Ivan was able to put that together for our clients at the event for like $500. So if you're like, I watched the event and it's really important to you to know your life purpose, and I want you to think about how important that really is. That's a huge thing to understand. That's going to change your life to really know that. It's not like you walked on hot coals or broke a board with your fist. It's like, why am I on this planet? Probably the most important question you could have the answer to. So I can see if Ivan will extend that. But first thing, grab the replay, hashtag in the arena in the comments. Guys, that's all I've got for you today. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, follow. I'll talk to you next time.